Hey folks, what's going on? Ted from Immersion here, and we are back with some more Wizkids unboxings. However, this time it's something a little bit different than we've done before, and something I honestly didn't anticipate ever coming out, and it kind of shocked me when I saw these in the box. So if you're familiar with Wizkids, you've seen me do countless miniature unboxings, some in the past couple weeks, but they're all 3D painted minis, and I stated in that video I think the quality of the 3D minis has done nothing but increase. However, here we are with these Wizkids Icons of the Realms Essentials Kit flat pack 2D acrylic minis. So I have some information here. It says introducing an all new line of miniature products by Wizkids. These 2D minis are an inexpensive way to gain a huge assortment of miniatures and are designed to work well with D&D's Essentials Kit, perfect for new adventurers. So again, if you're unfamiliar, the D&D Essentials Kit came out about a year ago, I think, at this point. And it was basically an alternative, a fresh take on the starter set. That included Lost Minds of Phandelver. This has the Dragon of Icespire Peak and introduced the concept of sidekicks and so on, which actually makes sense because sidekicks are one of the packs here. So, I mean, I'm going to open them up in a little bit and go through them. You can see here, though, if you look, that they have clear acrylic bases and acrylic two-sided. We turn them, you can't see it on this side, so we'll turn them around, but double-sided acrylic minis. So, I mean, the big thing here, right, is they're 2D, but they're flat pack. So, if I were to carry this many minis, around in a bag, I would need a big case to keep them in a spot so they won't get broken or bent or anything. Whereas these I can just basically throw in a bag or, like a folder essentially, and I'll have a ton of minis at my fingertips with basically no space. So they are going to release on November 4th, so a couple weeks away right now. And we have 4 options, and it looks like I have all 4 that are going to be released on the 4th. So we have the Players Pack, which is what you see right here. That is going to be they're all going to retail for $14.99 each. The Players Pack includes, looks like 3 horses, a human cleric, a human bard, a halfling fighter, a human fighter, an elf fighter, a male elf cleric. I'm just reading through the list here, what it says. Elf bard, halfling rogue, human rogue, dwarf wizard, dwarf fighter, dwarf cleric, human wizard, male elf rogue, skeletal horse, elf wizard. Then we have the Sidekick Pack, which has 5 veterans. And I'm not going to go through it, but everybody has their individual names, right? Like Nib Addlespur and Falcon the Hunter. But then we also have Rock Gnome Recluses 8, it says. I don't know if that means there's 8 of them or that's just the number. 1 Ox and Petunia the Cow. We have 2 Monster Packs. Monster Pack 1 has a Banshee, a Carrion Crawler, a Centaur, 3 Will-O-Wisps, 3 Ghouls, 2 Harpies, a Manticore, a Mimic, 3 Needle Blights, and 4 Sturges. And Monster Pack 2 has 2 Were-Rats, 2 Twig Blights, an Invisible Stalker, 2 Anchorites of Talos, 2 Orcs, 2 Vine Blights, 1 Ogre, 1 Young White Dragon, and Gorthok the Thunderboar. Again, all characters and NPCs and monsters contained within the Essentials Kit. So, I'm going to go ahead and open these up, and we're going to see what they look like. And you can take a look at the back, and it kind of just shows you they have a little slot on the bottom, and that just sort of slots into the base, and then there is your 2D, 3D mini. And it looks like it's just these 2 little plastic knobs here on the top, and I think we can just go ahead and, very easily there's a little bit of tape down here on the side and 2 more of the little knobs down the bottom. So we'll go ahead and pop the top here. Go ahead and remove the tape, or attempt to remove the tape. Okay, that's the tape off on that side. Tape off on this side. It looks like, there's a little tape right along the top here. So if I can get the little something, we'll just go ahead and cut that tape. And then again, going forward, I'll just have these all pretty much open and ready to go. And then, it'll just kind of fold right open like that. And then get rid of our plastic that we don't need. And then here's our little paperwork, toss that. And then you can see right here we have a piece separating them. But we have 2 acrylic pieces. It looks like there is a plastic, I think we can peel off here. And then this is our minis. So I guess what we'll do is, they're a little hard to pick up. I'm having a hard time getting the fingers underneath them there. But yeah, I mean, if you look right here, you can see all of the different little characters. And it does say in, very, very super tiny, I don't know if you can actually make that out, super, super tiny print. You kind of see it there at the bottom. It tells you what they are. So, but yeah, we've got, or I guess we'll go through and we can pop out some of these, stand some of them up. I don't know if we need to actually go through in-depth looks at each one of these. They are double-sided though, right? So if you can see, like, here's this dwarf, right? He's looking at you here, and then this is the back, his back. So I think all we do is just push. You know what? Let's go ahead and peel this off. You guys ready? This is always so satisfying. Maybe not. There we go. Get the back side here. And we can get a corner to come up here. Maybe. Man, that is really tricky. The other side came up so easy. There we go. I think I got it. Maybe. Yeah, they're just gonna fall out now. Yeah. So if you peel the plastic off of one side, you should just be able to push the minis out the other side rather than trying to peel the other plastic off. So let's go ahead and see. We just push. Yeah. Although I'd be careful, just check that out. I peeled the paint right off of this horse. Look at that. Missing a leg now. So I guess don't push them out like that because that apparently will peel the paint right off. That's an interesting little discovery we've made. So let's continue peeling the plastic off and see what happens here. See, I mean, it might have done that anyway, but maybe me pushing it out was not the best way to go about it. Alright, yeah, so I guess definitely peel them off. No, wait, no. Look at this. So this one I just peeled up. And look at all the paint that came off on the plastic wrap. Almost this guy's entire body. And then this one comes off fine. So alright, so that's, then you have your flashing to throw away. So let's take a look. So yeah, we got a couple of our guys got really, really messed up by that process. Like this is our dwarf cleric. I was gonna say, I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's really nothing to see. His whole paint came right off in that plastic wrap. You know what it doesn't say? Let me look. It doesn't say anything on here. Yeah, easy to set up and track your foes on the battlefield. It does not specify any specific means of removal. So look at that. Just peeled it right off. We saw it with one of the horses, and I thought that was on me, for doing it how I did, how I'm trying to push it out the other side with half the plastic still on. But a couple of these, we did it right. We peeled the plastic off the one side, we peeled the plastic off the other side, and then the second peeling of the plastic, we just removed half of the paint job, which is interesting. Oh, see, we removed it. I was just gonna say it was interesting because this side is acrylic, but the paint here is on the back side, so we peeled it off the back side. But we've got our clear plastic bases here, and we can go ahead and take, let's grab this human wizard here. You can see he's got a little slot in the bottom, and he will just go ahead and I think we'll just push. Yep. So he just snaps right in, and now we have our wizard here. Yeah, there he is, right there. And then he can just go right down on the grid. And we can see there he is, just hanging out. So we'll do the same thing with one of the bases here for the horses we have. Same thing, slightly larger base. Horse just snaps right in, and there you go. So, I mean, you can see, one, these are clear-based minis, so you can definitely see the grid underneath, no problem. And, you know, they look better than, I'd say, you get also, I mean, this is not a small amount of minis, all of these here. We zoom it out a little bit, you get all of these minis for $14. Compare that to the Fangs and Talon blind boxes we just kind of went through. That is a $16.99 box, and you get 4 total minis, and you don't know what you're gonna get. For this, you get for $14.99. You know what you're gonna get, and you get a whole bunch more. If I look at that, that is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 to 20 or so minis for $14.99. And again, if you're done, you can just take these guys and drop them into, just pull the bases off. And these take up almost no space in a bag. I mean, look at how this is maybe a quarter of an inch thick, this plastic. And then this is just, the second piece is all bases plus a skeletal riding horse and a few more. So, I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to peel the tape off of this one. And I'm going to see if this also removes any paint. Okay, so on the initial peel, there is no paint removed. Okay, so now we run into a dilemma here. We have the tape on this side. We could try and do what I had originally tried to do, which was just punch them out. Because in theory, I thought it didn't matter. Or we can try and peel the tape off and see if it removes anything with it. I'm going to try peeling the tape off again on the corner here. This shouldn't be rocket science, right, to figure out how to do this. So that's probably why they didn't include any instructions. So we're going to go ahead and we've got our plastic corner here. I'm going to go ahead and peel. Alright, that one, all 3 minis came out of this one completely unscathed. No issues there. We got exactly what we needed. So, I don't know if it's just a fluke on that first one, but I mean, this is this right here. This is an unacceptable mini because there is nothing there. We have like a holy radiant effect in a hand and like a leg, and the rest of the dwarf is gone. Yeah, this is an elf cleric, and I want to say that this is the I think it's the Grave Domain cleric in Xanathar's is this art. So there are art of things you have seen before for some of them. So that is the player's Essentials Kit. So we can go ahead and push these off to the side. And I guess what we can do is go ahead and open up some of these other ones. All right, so if I put a little piece of white paper behind them, that's a pretty good backdrop to show off all of the different, here's the different veteran minis, right? You can see there's some NPCs here. You can see if we turn it sideways, we've got a little cowboy kind of NPC right there. So again, sidekicks and NPCs. Oh, here's the chick that everybody loved with the unicorn Almirage hoodie. She got like the rabbit and the unicorn horn there. So that is that, and then in the second piece here, you can see we have a few more, right? We have a bull, And we have Petunia, the cow there. Let's go ahead and open up the monster pack. This one looks to be a little bit better. We've got a few bigger creatures in here. You can see here we've got a centaur. We've got like some of these ghouls. We've got, here's a mimic right here. Will-o-wisp, here's some sturges. There's our banshee, carrion crawler, and our various blights. And then in our other piece here, looks like we have more sturges, more will-o-wisp, but we have a manticore, and we have 2 harpies. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel off the sticker off of this one, and we'll see if this removes any of the paint. Because that is a very real worry that I have. You know, this is the first time I've seen these, so I have no prior knowledge to this. So once again, I will say thank you to V and the Wizkids team for sending these over to me for review. But because these are so early access, I mean, this is probably what you're going to end up seeing in the store, but we're learning how they work as we go here together, because I've never seen them before. So go ahead and peel this off. All right, so no issues with that peel. We managed to keep all of the everything stayed where it needed to be. Let's try pushing one of these harpies out the back with it still attached to the plastic. Okay, yeah, no issues. All the paint stayed there. Try doing the other one. Yeah, no issues. Maybe that was just like I don't know if it was put in, like the paint was put in wet or something on the other one, and that was just like a solitary issue we had with that one. Tried the manticore. Yeah, no, all the paint is staying where it's supposed to stay. So that must have just been a fluke. Okay, let's jump into the last one. This one has the dragon. This is one that everybody wants to see. So, first up here, we have an invisible stalker. Here's an ogre. We have, what's this, some more blights. Here's some were-rats. So there's our were-rats. We have some orcs over here. A couple more blights. And then obviously the ones that everybody wants to see. We have our white dragon here, which is really cool looking. And in my opinion, is one of the best named characters in there, Gorthok, the Thunderboar. We're gonna go ahead and peel the plastic off of these and just see, make sure there's no issues. All right, and I'm not doing any like specific technique. I'm trying to be like particularly gentle with removing this. I'm just really ripping it to see if that will cause the issue. But no, all the paint stayed where it's supposed to stay, and now we're gonna do the other side. We're gonna peel this one rather than pushing. We'll see if that makes a difference here. Nope. So yeah, it must just have been a fluke on the first one, but we went ahead and we got our Gorthok the Thunderboar peeled out of there. No problem, all paint intact. Same thing with our dragon. All paint stayed where it's supposed to be, and we are all good. So that's pretty much it, folks. That is the unboxing, unpacking, and sort of review of the Wizkids Essentials Kit 2D Minis. Like I said, I was a little bit shocked to see these, but I like these. These are kind of a step up from your traditional pawns, which are usually like a cardboard pop-out that you use, like a base you would use from like a traditional board game, and it just sorts of slots into it. Those are okay, but they are made out of cardboard, right? So what happens with cardboard minis, they get wet, and then they're pretty much shot because they just start deteriorating. This is a solid plastic acrylic. This will not, you can get this thing wet, you can throw this stuff around, it'll be okay, it's gonna last. There's not gonna be any issues there with that. So again, they're acrylic, they're gonna be waterproof, they're gonna survive through a lot of that. They also are sturdy because they are thick. The other kind of minis I've seen before are like a very thin, very almost like flimsy thin plastic. And those are really flimsy and they may not hold their shape, and if they get too hot they might melt or bend. And this again is a solid piece of acrylic with a nice paint job on it. And actually this you can kind of feel, I don't know if you can hear the texture of the paint versus the other side that's smooth. If I was going to do anything, if I was Wizkids to change these up, and I don't know how easy this is because I truly don't, I might, rather than have like one side be clear acrylic plat like this side is, where it's just, this is the paint's on the other side and this side has the paint. So if I were to run like a knife or like really gouge this with my fingernail, we could peel the paint off of here, and that obviously will show through on both sides. So if you could find a way to put a piece of acrylic, the paint, and then another piece of acrylic, I mean, this is a pretty thin piece here. So you would have to basically rip this in half and then like sandwich it together, you know, like that. And that would be my thought process. That's what I would do, so you could protect the paint layer at all costs. So we don't have any issues like we had with some of those other ones where the paint peeled off, because the paint is sandwiched between 2 layers of acrylic and really can't be harmed. You'll get a lot more longevity out of your minis. Now, again, I've never used these. I don't particularly know because they're new. But if you were to like throw these in your bag, just kind of like this, some in the sheets, some kind of loose like this, if just kind of being in there and rubbing up against each other, if they'll end up rubbing paint off that way, I don't know. I mean, you could try and like put them back inside their like acrylic like little sheets here, but they're not going to sit. They're just going to fall out. So I guess you could put maybe saran wrap or, you know, like a piece of Scotch tape, you know, tape across here to just kind of hold it in place so you could keep them all flat. Because if you were to able to keep them all of the minis pretty much combined that we have, if I were to, again, we're kind of, we have plastic and stuff in here, but that's essentially, I don't know, less than 2 inches thick to have all of the minis that I showed you today just kind of all stuck together in one little flat pack. So that, again, takes up a fraction of the room as this many minis would. So if you're looking for an alternative to, you know, virtual tabletop, if you're playing in person, if you're looking for an alternative to just theater of the mind with no minis at all, you want to do strategic stuff with maps, but you don't want to take the plunge to dive into, you know, buying, you know, 3D printing your own minis, or buying, you know, Wizkids pre-painted products or unpainted products and painting them yourselves. If you're looking for an affordable alternative to that, then I'd say, yeah, this is pretty good, because Wizkids has the D&D license. So you're going to be able to get officially licensed D&D minis. You don't have to get like an off-brand, you know, third-party mini. You'll be able to get like a beholder. It won't have to be like an eye spawn or whatever. It will be a true beholder with the official beholder art, you know, when those were to come out. So you'd be able to get those with no issues there. And again, the fact that you know what you're getting when you go into it. So like, if you're not going to run a game with a Manticore or a Harpies, then don't buy that pack, because you're just not going to need it, you know? And you know, maybe you don't need the side. This is obviously, again, geared towards the Essentials Kit. And that's sort of the process too, right? This is for the Essentials Kit is like $20. It's to get new people into D&D. You could, for less than $100, have actual, you know, representation in the form of minis and these kind of 2D tokens here, to do every character in the entirety of the Essentials Kit. So you could really do a good job introing, bringing people into the game, saying, oh, look, here's a new intro game we're going to play. Here's some fun, cool intro minis we're going to play and we're going to use. And like all of the player characters cover a lot of the pre-gen options that you have as well. So this could really give you a good concept for, you know, how do you want to take the plunge and go further? Do you want to start crafting your own minis? Do you want to start looking elsewhere, 3D printing, buying Wizkids products, or what have you? But it's nice to see that they also, I would say, if they're going to do this and keep it with this intro mindset, then it might not be a bad idea to do packs like these for other pre-written campaigns and pre-written modules and stuff. Like, do a set of like Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frost Maiden, you know, 2D minis. So you have like, you could buy 3 or 4 sets and you'll have enough to cover all of the NPCs contained in Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frost Maiden. Now you've got that. You obviously wouldn't need the sidekicks necessarily or the player characters, but you could just build out monster packs. And then, okay, well, I finished the Essentials Kit. Now I want to do Icewind Dale, but I don't have enough minis to cover that. Well, I go buy my Icewind Dale mini packs, and now I do. I think I would start there, and if the reception is well enough and things do well, then you could look to do like generic packs, like the Monster Manual 1, or like the Wizkids 2D Dragon set, Wizkids 2D Knoll set, and it just gives you a bunch of different looking Knolls, or Wizkids Monster Manual A to C set, and it gives you all the monsters in the Monster Manual from letter A to C and a couple different packs, or however that's going to work out. But I do think there's definitely a market for this. This is a nice, affordable middle ground for people who don't want to go down the blind box mini set, because you never know what you're going to get in a blind box mini. That's the kind of whole purpose of it. You might get duplicates. You might not get what you're looking for. This, you know what you're getting into. And they're affordable. They don't take up a ton of space. Like, I've got a whole huge wall over here full of all my minis. If I had all flat pack minis like this, it would take up a fraction of the space for the amount of products that I have. So I am genuinely a fan of these. And I think it goes without saying, but these videos aren't sponsored by Wizkids. These videos, I've just sent these copies for review, but my review is completely my own. My opinion is my own on all of these. So, I do firmly stand by that. I think these are an excellent resource. I think they really do bridge that gap. They're, rather than doing what we all used to do back in the day when we didn't have minis, where, this person is going to be a D6, and I've got this Monopoly piece. Okay, so you're going to be the dog from Monopoly. You're going to be this old Parcheesi token. Okay, you could be a Skittle, and this guy can be a penny. Trying to do it that way, which is what what I always used to do. We find whatever we could, little minis, take pieces out of board game boxes. And then obviously now that I've been doing this a lot more, I have minis to represent almost everything that's going to happen, like actual minis designed for the thing. But if you don't want to go down the super expensive, potentially collector's rabbit hole of mini hunting, and you want to go a little step above and beyond random things you can find in your house, this, I think, is truly a good alternative. So, anyway, that's probably a little more long-winded than it needed to be, but I really just wanted to make sure I went through all of this. We had a couple hiccups, like I said, with the paint coming off, but hopefully that was just a fluke. And let me know what your thoughts are on the comments down below. Were you expecting this from Wizkids? I certainly wasn't. And what are your thoughts? Are you jazzed and excited for 2D minis coming from Wizkids in the future, and these nice acrylic packs like this? Or do you think they should just stick to the 3D minis, especially after the new updates, it seems like, in the newer sets? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and I will see you all next time.